Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 26 of Step Into the Paranormal.
26.
Episode 26.
It's a historic episode. The same episode as my age.
Yeah, right. So we have a couple very special guests from a long way off.
Long way off
On the other side of the pond. They are from the United Kingdom. From Be Paranormal, we have Brent and Emma. Hey, welcome to the show, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
How are you?
Pretty good.
Finally got you guys on, man. We scheduled this. How long ago was it, Brent? About 2 months?
It must be now, yeah, easily.
Yeah, it's been a while. Before I get started with my 1,000,001 questions, you guys have anything you want to open up with or say or anything like that? Just real quick, tell people how they can find you.
You go.
Well, basically, obviously, we've got a group on Facebook, obviously, as well. We've also got a YouTube as well, YouTube channel that was just started up recently.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, we'll post a link on later on as well. If people who want to come and join our little family. Isn't it?
Right.
Little family, isn't it?
Yeah. How long, Brent and Emma, how long you guys been investigating the paranormal?
Me, not that long. I've been in it for just almost 3 years now.
And for me, I've been doing it probably 18 years.
Really? What,
Yeah.
Brent, what got you into it? Was it like a specific incident that happened, or was it you liked it, or what?
When I was a child, basically, it started from there's a local park where I used to live in Nottingham. Just down there with family, walking around the big lake at the bottom of the hill. And I just basically glanced across the lake and I saw a lady in Victorian clothing. A quick split second, and I looked away and looked back and she'd gone. So it was just so obviously I don't know if it was actually a spirit, I'm not actually sure, but obviously just seeing that and obviously realizing it's gone, it's got me into it. And obviously watching all the UK TV programs, your Most Haunted, that sort of thing.
Right.
So obviously it's got me into it.
Yeah.
And I've been non-stop in paranormal ever since, haven't I?
Yeah.
I mean,
Is it a big industry in the United Kingdom, the paranormal?
It's massive.
Huge.
Like over here. Right.
There's so many teams out there. It's unbelievable. It's a lot of people do events more than actual general investigating, because the amount how much our locations cost, you have no choice but to do events. Yeah, I mean, it's sometimes I think the locations have been obviously the people that own it have jumped on the bandwagon, so to speak.
Right.
So they're thinking, hang on, it's the seeing pound size rather than anything else, the historical side of things.
Right.
So some of our locations would just ask silly money for them, don't they?
Yeah.
We definitely got to make it over there. Yeah. I've had such a fascination between England and Ireland, and just, in the research that we do and the things that we've come across, I mean, so many things have popped up from over your way that it's just so intriguing. You know what I mean? What's one of the, I know this is a really vague question, but what is one of the most, I guess, haunted or investigated or well-known locations in England?
I should get shares this one, but I'm going to say the Ancient Ram Inn down in Gloucester. That's probably one of the most iconic ones we've got in the UK. I mean, there's loads, and we've got Newsham Park Hospital, not far from us. We've got 30 East Drive, if you've heard of that one.
Mm-hmm.
The Monk House.
The Monk House.
I've heard of that. Who went?
Yeah.
Was that Hunters International went there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Monk. I think they actually will be with Dustin next month at the Bash.
That's
I had to ask him because I think it was Ghost Hunters International that did the Monk House. For some reason,
I've done it 5 times. It is a good location to do if you can get it, but because it's quite cheap to do as well. A lot of teams book it up throughout the years. It's hard to get in there now.
Right.
Nice.
So it's booked that far ahead of time.
Yeah. I think it's about a year and a half waiting list. for it now.
Damn. Wow. Have you guys ever investigated in the United States?
No,
No.
that's my dream to come over there. I would love it.
Man,
I've actually got a list as long as my arm that I want to do over there. Waverley's the top of it.
It's such a variety of, you have your locations that have to do with the like the Civil War. Then you have your locations that have to do with murders and so on and so on. So no matter what location you go to over here, I mean, you're in for a treat. You're in for something different each time. Not saying that that's the haunt that's going to occur when you're there, because we know how things take a twist. But whatever your liking is in the paranormal, you will definitely find it in the United States, whether it be a battlefield or a someone's home or a prison or whatever. I mean, it's just so much to choose from and so many places to go. I mean,
by the way, it was Paranormal Lockdown that did it.
Was it?
Yeah, we just got somebody who said it.
Okay. For some reason, I was thinking, yeah, I remember now. For some reason, I was thinking Ghost Hunters International. But I mean, all the years we've been doing this over here, and I mean, we haven't even began to scratch the surface of
with all the history over there,
locations that are available.
Yeah, I mean, you figure the UK, England, all that has had the history of just everything over there for thousands of years, whereas the United States is only a few hundred years old.
Yeah.
So I mean, they have catacombs upon catacombs with layers and layers there. Right. I'd love to go over there.
Good. We got to arrange that, man. But
I guess definitely,
I'm gonna have to plan it about 2 years ahead of time, though. Wow. You guys get all the paranormal shows over there that we have here, right?
We do, but they're not at the same time as you. Like, we're still waiting for Ghost Hunters season 2. So we've been quite jealous.
Wow, yeah, because that's already over here. Yeah, that's already over here.
We've seen everyone post.
We won't give away no spoilers. Except it was very good, though. It was very good. Yeah. It was very good.
Yeah, there's one episode that I was just loving on that. So you guys, when you hit it, you'll know which one exactly what I'm talking about. They actually did a whole property in one shot. Yeah, that had multiple buildings.
Yeah. And
they caught the thing out of the wall.
Uh-huh.
I love that. I actually responded to it on his personal page.
Okay.
So that was pretty cool. When you see that, you're going to be like, what?
So I think I know the answer to this, Brent, but I mean, anywhere in the world, not just where you're at or where we're at. If you had the opportunity to go anywhere and investigate, where would you go?
Just one choice, or
what's your top?
What's
your top? Yeah,
greedy.
Over in the US, definitely.
Where at?
Here in the US.
No. What location?
Location. Waverly Hills.
Really?
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I've got quite a few. I mean, there's Penhurst State School I'd like to do. Alcatraz. There's quite a few I'd love to do.
Wow.
Oh yeah. There's a ton. I mean, if you watch up in New York, we have a friend of ours who actually owns a house called the Hinsdale House. He has a live camera up at all times. You can actually watch things floating around and moving just on their own with a live camera in front of it randomly.
Are you guys familiar with the Hinsdale House?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know about that?
We don't know the history of it as such, but we've seen it on TV, and obviously friends of ours at Trinity Paranormal, they went there not long back and we watched their video, didn't we? It looks interesting. It looks really interesting.
I don't see Dan, the owner of it, in here right now, but if my memory serves me correctly, Ed and Lorraine Warren were the first investigators to investigate Hinsdale House. Yep. I could be wrong, but I believe they were the first.
It actually had a failed exorcism through the Catholic Church.
Wow.
That's one of the few that you'll hear a failed exorcism on. So there's definitely something there. And the Catholic Church went, no habla inglés, señor, no aquí. They just...
That's Dave's version of Spanish.
See?
What do you guys got coming up, man? Anything good in the near future?
We're still on lockdown, aren't we? We're still on lockdown. It's gradually coming out of lockdown now, but we've been still gradually coming out of
Yeah.
lockdown, haven't we? So
We've still been doing like little locations around our local area, but we're hoping to have big plans, haven't we?
yeah. As soon as it all gets lifted, we're going to get out there and get started investigating properly.
Yeah,
and hopefully come to you guys next year.
It's starting to ease up a little. Like last night, I was at an event last night, and that was the first one since I guess March or February.
No, February.
Because we were at the Prince's house,
Yep.
and then we've done nothing other than the radio show.
Yeah.
And last night was my first night back out and at it. I got to tell you guys this story real quick, man, while we were talking about last night. I was at the historic Lookout House in Aspers, Pennsylvania, which is right outside Gettysburg. Pam and Steve, who throw the Gettysburg Bash, they have the Lookout House. Now it was myself and Dave Haney and Jim from Keystone State Paranormal, and we were Lori Johnson, who needs no introduction. She was with us. Now, the crowd was a little bit bigger than we originally anticipated, so we broke up in two groups.
Okay.
And I had a somewhat of a small group, and I was upstairs in the attic. And the attic is pitch dark. The only thing above us is the cupola where you walk up. So what was happening was I was standing up leaning against one of the beams, and my friend Jim was to my right. Directly across from me was two more friends, James and Evelyn. And we were basically doing EVP work. And one of the guests, I think, was running a spirit box. So I was just standing there, and James had this contraption on the floor that did all different things. It beeped for temperature change. It beeped for this. It beeped for that. And it had a pattern of lights that kept going from red to blue. Okay. And it just had this normal pattern that it did basically while it was scanning. He had it right as you come up the steps into the attic. It was right there.
That sounds like a data logger.
No, it wasn't a data logger. I forget the exact name.
I'll check with him.
Jim, anyhow. So I'm standing there and they're asking their questions. And we started getting some footsteps like, I don't know, maybe 6 feet behind me. And the funny thing is the attic, of course, is A-frame shaped. So the further you get behind me, the more narrow it is and the less headroom you have. So they're continuing on with their session. And I felt, now I don't mean I'm no type of psychic or nothing like that. I mean, I physically felt as if someone come and stood next to me. I just made the assumption that it was one of the guests because the two guests that were in front of me were sitting on a sofa. I could feel whatever this was standing beside me, but I was continuing to watch the pattern of the lights on James' contraption. All of a sudden, Dave, the best way I can explain this, it was like somebody dropped a curtain in front of me. Whatever was beside me sidestepped, went right in front of me and like confronted me nose to nose. It wasn't a black shadow because I couldn't see around it. It was like a complete black wall of darkness. It was like I lost my eyesight.
Oh, wow.
And the light coming from the bottom of the steps as well as the lights from his meter, everything was completely blocked out. I thought one of the guests may have stepped in front of me until I realized I couldn't see around them. So I took my little flashlight out, I clicked it on, and all of a sudden that whole entire black shield was gone.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, countless shadows, we've seen, we've photographed, we videotaped, whatever. But I never had like a complete wall of blackness just directly in front of it. Was, I can't even, Jeff Leeper put it best. He knew exactly what I was talking about. He said it was like you were standing in the dark and someone turned the lights out again to make it even darker. But the interesting thing was a few minutes after that, I went over and I was sitting on the arm of the sofa And to my right was Evelyn and her friend James. James was bent over like this, getting ready to knock on the floor, like to get a response. As he leaned over a second even further to begin his knock, right to his right, I seen a complete full shadow walk straight across the room and just into nowhere.
Nice.
And it was the craziest. The experience I had, I mean, it was just completely insane because, like I said, we're used to dealing with, I seen a shadow, or a shadow went by the wall, or there's a shadow person, whatever. But never can I honestly say I was completely blacked out. It was like an old time theater show when they dropped the curtain. It just, everything went pitch black. Wow. And it was amazing. And actually Jim has it on audio because he was running his audio recorder, and you can hear the whole conversation, but it was strange.
So for you guys, give us some of the stuff you've run into, like Ernie's just talking about. What have you guys run into?
For me, obviously I've experienced an apparition. I say it was full, but it's like I say, it was a corner of the eye thing again. It was just basically like, I was at the Gallows of Justice in Nottingham. It was out in the courtyard where obviously we used to hang people back in the day. Yeah. But basically, we're just obviously calling out. Next thing I just looked across towards the steps in the corner, and there were a gentleman stood there in like black trousers, black jacket with a cane. But then obviously I didn't register. I sort of looked back and looked again, and he'd gone. But first time, obviously I saw the whole. It was like a real person stood there, but then it was a split second, he'd gone.
Nice.
Wow.
So what is your scariest moment?
Same location for me. The galleries. Honestly, if you guys can get there, it's amazing. It really is.
It's very rare.
It's an old. It's basically like an old courtroom place. It's a big courtroom, and they've got all the cells, that the debtor's cell and condemned cell.
I think I've seen that. There was a guy. I saw a video of that where they used to hang people outside, but there's like cells in the back, and the magistrates used to sit in like a.
I know. Yes.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. The guy actually caught a full-blown video of somebody running down the hallway.
Yeah. It's a massive place. It's a big location. It's got obviously the men's side. It's got the women's and children's section. It's got that is what we call oubliette, where basically if you didn't have money back in the day, once you were tried and you were killed outside, you were hung. You didn't have money to be buried. You used to take you down to the oubliette and just basically bury you in the ground. So you can go down there now. It's basically this miles and miles of soil. Obviously under them soil, it's just bones everywhere.
Oh wow!
Wow! It's obviously. I mean, from experience-wise, I was with another investigator about 15 years ago. We're sat in the condemned man's cell. Everybody else was upstairs. Just me and him were sat on the bed. Where Dick's phone's running, and basically we heard footsteps out in the corridor, and they were getting closer and closer and closer towards the room that we sat in. And I turned to him and I said, something's going to happen. You just get that feeling, you know something's going to like, sort of kick off. And then next minute, the footsteps came into the room. So obviously we couldn't see the hands in front of our face. It was that dark. So we said, is somebody in the room with us now? Please let us know. Do something. The next minute, we both, with our own ears, heard like this, right in our faces.
I've heard that before.
And I tell you, I'm not gonna lie. I almost said the F word about 15,000 times in about 3 seconds.
First you say it, then you do it, then you clean your pants. So,
that's it. But I say that I didn't run. I was
I did.
I'm not gonna lie.
I did. And I ran into his nose and almost broke his nose. So that's a story for a whole nother time. Yeah. So. For your EVPs, tell us about your EVPs. What do you do to actually kind of get things to kind of stir up and get EVPs? How do you work?
Just basically just be polite, be respectful. Yeah. I mean, obviously, you imagine these spirits were once living once. You go in there and you sit there and you're going, speak to me now. Come on, do it. The other thing, why should I bother? Do you know what I mean? It's one of them. So just basically try and sort of befriend them. Say, look, I'm Brent. Come please communicate with us and just be respectful.
It's daunting as well though, because you got to think like some of these buildings that we go in, there's like child spirits in there, and you've got like a massive group of people, and you're like going all guns blazing, like come and speak into this device, blah, 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 blah. Do you know what I mean? Like, still once living, you've got to have
one of the rules we go by is, when we want to get a good response or try to, get things stirred up, I mean, we basically just talk as if we were talking to each other.
We start cutting up on the scene.
Yeah, or talking to another person.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Especially these, these like the locations you talk about that's so overwhelmingly booked and people in there all the time. I mean, spirits have to get tired of the same old.
Oh yeah.
Just over and over and over.
Yeah, we were on an investigation once, and basically Ernie told the people that were going up with me, "Hey, look, they get tired of hearing you. Tell me your name. Tell me what happened to you. Tell me, do you know?" So we're upstairs in the complete darkness, and this woman, we have all the equipment out, and this woman looks up and goes, "Is Dave full of shit?" And literally all the equipment went off, and you could hear a laugh from down a hallway where nobody was. It's just a laugh.
But that's what you can find that. You can find that as well. But obviously, when you're just talking among yourselves and you have a laugh and a joke at the time during the investigation, you'll hear that door bang. You'll hear that little laughter, or I mean, it builds the energy up.
When you're reviewing your EVP recordings, and this goes along with what you're saying, people have a tendency of, okay, I'm going to ask the question. Now let's listen. But you also have to listen, because sometimes a spirit joins in the conversation and will comment while we're going back and forth talking. And you have to be able to single that out. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because so many people miss so many good EVPs because they're just expecting to hear it when you're done asking that question and giving that 20-second delay. But sometimes, I mean, like on the TV show, some of the best ones I've heard come
underneath the conversation
of the conversation. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But no, I completely agree. I mean, you have to just speak, like one of my favorites is, what do you like to do? Or what is your favorite sport or your favorite food? And the reason I like those, not only is it different, but it can give you a sense of the time period.
Absolutely.
Based on, what do you like to do, or what do you like to eat, or what do you like to, whatever, you know what I mean? What do you like to wear? And it kind of, what I mean, will help you out along the way. And it's an out of the ordinary, not normal, typical ghost hunting question, so to speak,
It'd be interesting to see if you could go into a location and not like go full frontal investigation and just go in there, be your normal selves, don't ask any questions, don't call out. Just go in and just be yourselves. Just go in and talk amongst yourselves. See if anything would pick up then.
Right.
We'll join in. Yeah, that's what I love doing things like that. Where you set like a static camera up in a place for 24 hours, just review the evidence without going in, and just see what you get.
Yeah, Dave. Like when you gonna set one up here? That's what
I have something. I don't know if they followed me home or if it's one of my past relatives. But something's here in my house and it's been trying to get my attention. And I don't like investigating my own house. That's a little I don't want to know something's here. I'll go to somebody else's. Not a problem. Not my own.
But I told
you like the paranormal, but you don't want to live with it.
I told Dave to just, set up a camera for 20 minutes. Like if he has to go to the store, just set a camera up for 20 minutes and don't look at it. Don't review it. I'll review it. Or we brought this up maybe last episode or 2 episodes ago. Run a camera for like an hour, and then we won't even watch it. What we'll do is replay it during our live episode and show it. And that way, everybody watching, they can review it for us and comment in like, hey, I think I saw this, or I think I saw that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, they don't want to.
Our studio here is in my basement, and straight that way over there is my work computer where I have 4 screens set up. Our last show, Ernie and I were sitting here, and all of a sudden my computer over there came out of sleep mode, turned on for like 5 seconds, and this turned right back off. And I was kind of telling Ernie after the episode, it can't do that because it's set when it comes on, it's on for 30 minutes, then it will turn off. So I had him go try it while I was sitting over here. So he wiggles the mouse, he comes on. I'm like, okay, let's wait for it to go off. And literally 30 minutes later, it finally went off. So something made it come on and then go back off. I'm not sure why.
And the thing is, as much time as we spend down here, and now we're at episode 26.
Yep.
I see those computers there, but to me, it's just like a piece of furniture because I'm so used to seeing them, and I've never seen them on. And it's funny because last week or last episode, a few days prior, I was here, and I even said to Dave, I said, do them computers even work? Because I've never seen them on. And he's like, yeah, that's where I work because
for work. That's what I do for a
some
living.
of us have the luxury of working from home and others don't. But
just saying.
Yeah, that was really weird because I was sitting here and I just seen them all four of them come on, and I was like,
and then 5 seconds later they all went off again.
Yeah,
I'm sure if it was something negative, you'd know about it.
Yeah, I think it's my grandfather. I'm not 100% sure, but there's been signs that it's my grandfather who passed away because I'm having some personal problems in life right now. And I've been kind of down and out about certain things. And I think he's here to cheer me up.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's very interesting, though. So, you guys are involved with us with the Paranormal Relief Project. What do you think? What do you think about that? That's pretty cool, huh?
It's
we
amazing.
Can't wait.
Well, honestly, I even asked to be a part of it, to be honest.
Yeah, Tori, that was an amazing idea that she had. And it's just like a rolling snowball, man. It just keeps growing and growing. And actually, I secured, well, it was in the works, but I secured a location last night with some friends of mine from another team. And they're going to be the Thaddeus Stevens house.
Nice.
So that's in Gettysburg. That's going to be a good location, and Keystone State Paranormal Society is going to be running it. They're freaking amazing. I love their investigative style.
Teresa says hi to you, Brett and Emma.
Who's Teresa?
Hi, Teresa. It's like we're still trying to find a location, but everywhere's been shut around here, so that's why we're still struggling to get one. But we've got a few in mind. We're just waiting for them to open up.
Well, if you guys ever come over to this side, of the world, definitely come to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Out of the entire United States, I know there's tons of haunted places, and I'll probably get a lot of hate mail for this, but Gettysburg was one of the places of the biggest battles between the North and the South over the slavery. But there's been other things that have gone on there. Remember, since the time literally we came from over to England, over to here, established the United States, everything has happened in that part of the world. So there's so much history there that since 200 years of history that it's wild and amazing.
You know the coolest thing about that, other than I was there yesterday, we're an hour and 15 minutes from there.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
We'd love to get to Gettysburg.
We would.
Absolutely.
Honestly, the amount of locations I want to do, I'd have to move over with it every day. Honestly, I've got this as long as my arm. We'd like to visit Salem. So you're quite into witchcraft stuff, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Salem, Massachusetts. Yeah.
Massachusetts.
I'm not sure. No, I think we got about a 5 or 6 hour drive.
We're not far from there either.
Yeah. I mean, we're within driving distance of
so much.
Other than when we at the Paranormal Relief Project, we'll be in Iowa.
Yeah, we're going to fly to that.
Malvern Manor. We're going to have to fly there. Mike King suggested riding our motorcycles, but I can't ride my motorcycle for 17 and a half hours.
Oh, no.
It's like over here. It's like we can go from one side of the country to the other side in 4 hours. For you guys, that's probably just to the next state, isn't it? It's massive, isn't it, in America?
Yeah, I mean, we can, Dave and I have had like 2 events in one day, and they were in different states.
Yeah.
And it's just like a hop, skip, and jump, and we're
But if we
there.
drove like from here to the other side, it would take about 3 days for a straight drive.
Yeah.
Including stopping for gas. So that's pretty 3,000 miles.
But the good thing is,
where is Gettysburg? Is that the west side or the east side or in the middle? Or
we're in Maryland, which is right on the border, right near Baltimore, Maryland. Gettysburg is about an hour and a half northeast from us.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So pretty much a straight shot like towards New York, and you'll land in Gettysburg somewhere.
Let me tell you something. If you ever make it to Gettysburg, I can guarantee you, I will lay a guarantee on this. Anytime you go there, you will never come home and say, I didn't experience something.
Yeah.
I mean, and one of the best photographs I've ever taken and caught an apparition was at 2:00 in the afternoon on a bright sunny day outside. And I believe that was in 2008. And I mean, it's just to date, it's one of the most amazing photos I've ever captured. And it was in bright sunshine during the day outside.
Nice.
But Gettysburg, man, you never let down. There's always something. You always get something in Gettysburg.
There is a show called Paranormal Caught on Camera that one of our friends is on. They actually featured a video out of Gettysburg, and the guy was there. He happened to pull up and just started filming one of the battlefields at like 2 a.m. And there's some cannons here on the right, and you actually see a full-blown apparition come out behind the cameras, in front, and then in front of the cannon, and just vanish right there.
I think I might have seen that before. Is it
Yeah,
like is it like on a sort of like a, what do you call it? Up high, aren't they? They're like looking over, and there's the camera sticking out. And
Yep. So that one, I know what you're referring to. There's one that actually has trees there. That's actually right down the road from it. But yeah, I've actually seen that video too. This one was a single soldier that comes out from behind the cannon, between the two cannons, and then comes this way and just vanishes.
It's crazy.
So there's one that actually, it looks like troops are marching through the trees.
Yeah, it was a husband and wife, I believe, that filmed that, because you can hear her.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, we are trying to get over next year, hopefully, but we want to come for a few days and like sort of hit a few locations if we can. We don't have to investigate them, just to visit them. So we don't get in there. It's just nice to say, oh, we've been there, we've been here, and
you need to come up in July next year if you're coming up. If you're coming up, I would come up in July, because that's when the Gettysburg Bash. It's our biggest paranormal event of the year. Every year, it's always in the end of July. It's 3 days. And you know, everybody you like from all the TV shows and all, they'll be there. But we have that coming up in actually 4 weeks.
Yeah, 4 weeks now.
Yeah. And that's the same people that organize that and run that every year are the same ones that have the Lookout House where I was at last night.
Definitely.
Yeah. We'll try and make it over next year, definitely.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite piece of equipment and why?
I'm gonna probably say my voice recorder.
Yeah.
For me, I prefer to catch things audio than I do visual.
Okay.
Because, like I said, I'd rather you guys send me a piece of evidence that's audio rather than visual. Because the amount of stuff you can get these days, that you can doct it and you can add things to it, and when you've got the audio actually there at the location, for me it's more compelling evidence, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I guess anything can be debunked to a certain extent, but it's hard when you're sitting in a room, you know, if Dave and I are in a room and, you know, we get a direct answer to a question and it's by a female and we're the only two in the house. You know what I mean? It's like, how can you even really basically dispute that, you know?
Yeah.
We actually went to a place called the Princess House in Pennsylvania, and we had a group we were with all in the front of the house. And as we're sitting there talking and discussing, we have a motion sensor outside in the hallway, looking down this long hallway this way. And he says something to the effect of, you know, come on out. Nobody's going to hurt you, literally. And all of a sudden you hear, ee, and two of us at the same time look down the hallway. You could just see the door down there moving.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, if we had a medium with us from Keystone State Paranormal. And if you remember, she spoke up during this session and said, hey, that man that I sensed in the hallway or saw in the hallway, he's in the hallway. And that's when I said, you know, no one's going to hurt you. Come closer, come into toward my voice or whatever. And the motion light in the hallway came on. And then that's when you started hearing the door.
What were you going to say, Emma? I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, with you saying the door, the sound of the door, it's funny enough, we went for investigating, didn't we, the other day, and it sounded like we captured the sound of a door creaking, weren't it?
Yeah. It's
At a whole Tudor house.
whether it was residual, I'm not sure, but it definitely was walking outside the front of the property and walking towards the door. I was going to go in, but then it just sounded like the door, like an old door creaking. Caught it clear as day.
We've been umming and ahhing, haven't we? We were able to put it on Facebook or not, but I think it's there.
Well, we tell people post it up in Paranormal Inc. site, and that because we tell people share the love. You know, that's what we're all about is para unity. So share the love and let people hear it. You know, I've had.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, it'd be nice to know whether it is paranormal or not, like just a bit of advice or knowledge.
Let me ask you, I can only imagine the amount of locations over there to investigate with the history and all that. But over where you're at, is there a lot of claims within people's homes of saying, hey, can you come in? I think my house is haunted, or I think my business is haunted, or do you have a lot of that over there too?
Not really, no. We've never ever been asked to do a home investigation ever.
Really?
Wow. Interesting.
So
you don't seem to find it a lot. I mean, I did a couple of residentials a few years back, and to be honest, I think it was the people that I did it for. They were heavy drinkers on medication. So whether they were just basically like tripping off the medication.
We've got a couple of those ourselves.
We've had a few of those.
I think you really have to do your research before you do a home investigation, just to make sure there's no like underlying issues.
I would think that there would be a lot of residual hauntings over there.
Oh yeah, we have a lot of those.
Bro, yeah.
For me, the best location that I've ever done will be the ancient ram inn. I mean, some of the evidence I've caught there, we've had people's hair being pulled. This room's upstairs. Obviously, we did lots of camera off looking at the door, so until no one had been in. Left it running for an hour. Left it voice recorder on the bed. Then reviewed it later on, and we caught a little boy's voice, as clear as I'm speaking now, saying, "Why are you trying to scare me?" As though he'd gone up to the voice recorder and spoke into it.
Oh, lovely.
But the story of the ram inn, obviously, we call the building. It's been there since the 11th century.
Yeah.
There was sacrificial. It was a sacrificial site where children were actually sacrificed on that site, and there's still to this day finding bones in the floor of children. And as you go in, there's actually an open grave in there still, with things still in it, bones still in it, and stuff.
Oh wow!
And
that's super cool, but super creepy.
Yeah,
and man, I like to go over there.
I love the videos from the shows or from when you see paranormal caught on film that where they're like beneath in the catacombs of the castles and things like that. Yeah. You're seeing things go by, you're hearing the things go by, you're smelling things. This one guy was just sitting there filming the crew and they were talking, and all of a sudden he's like, "Oh my God!" And you see his camera move. So somebody took the camera and turned him around. He had these 3 giant scratches right down his back.
Oh, wow.
And he was in one of the catacombs of one of the castles over there.
Now, the closest I ever came to investigating catacombs, this was before I knew Dave. Back in 2014, myself and some others, we were asked to film a pilot episode of a possibly upcoming show. And we were granted permission to investigate Westminster Hall, where Edgar Allan Poe is buried. Now, they have investigations there and tours and all that good stuff. But once nighttime comes, everybody's got to be out. We were the first group of people ever granted access to spend the night there. And they had the catacombs underneath.
Oh,
and
no.
Yeah, man, it was... it was some pretty cool stuff.
Not in Baltimore. Nope.
Yeah. Well, we were cool though, because they had directly across the street from Westminster Hall was University of Maryland Hospital, shock trauma, and they had the university police and all. So they kind of had had it blocked a little bit so nobody could get in. Plus, once we're in, it's locked. And like where our vehicles and all were parked, they have like these big iron gates they open. So once we got in, it was locked. So we were safe as long as you don't leave the the grounds. But
it's a very bad part of town, so you know.
But where Edgar Allan Poe was buried, man, that was a very cool spot. I would definitely recommend it there.
Obviously, you mentioned the scratches. I mean, do you guys get a lot of demonic stuff over there? 'Cause we don't really get much over here, to be honest.
I honestly, we've had one case that said it was demonic, and by the time we were done with it, we proved it was a roommate trying to scare the owner of the house to get him to leave the house. So it wasn't demonic. We've run into a lot of spirits, but nothing I would say poltergeist or demonic at this point.
I've had cases in the past where the people thought it was demonic, when in reality it was more or less just a agitated spirit that wanted to come across as possibly demonic or dark to frighten them, or for whatever reason they wanted them to leave or be frightened. Sometimes they'll come across given that appearance that it's something evil,
right?
But most of the,
most of the time, to be honest, it's like, and whenever you get scratched 3 times, is it demonic or is it a nasty spirit? Because you imagine someone that's a murderer in life.
Well,
what? It's still going to be a nasty spirit, aren't they? It's still going to be nasty. It's still going to be aggressive. And
I'm going to run this past you. Back in 2017, when we were doing World's Largest Ghost Hunt, we were in a mansion and we were in the children's bedroom. Now, all the times over the years I've been touched, it's never left a mark. Yeah. Now, we were live filming that, and I got this really bad, it almost felt like an electric shock scratching sensation on my stomach. When I pulled my shirt up, I was all scratched up. It was the first time I ever experienced physical marks. But what I had to take into consideration was we were in the children's bedroom, okay? And one of the theories I have is if a child wants to try to make contact with you, they're going to do what a child does, and that is pull on your pants leg or pull on your shirt or pull on your hair or go like this and touch at you.
Or pinch you.
Yeah. So I just wrote it. I mean, it didn't scare me because I knew we were in the child's bedroom. So I was thinking maybe that's the only, for whatever reason, that's the only way that child has to get my attention was to scratch at me or pull on me.
What are your thoughts on that?
I was you've hit the nail on the head, really. We were going to say the exact same because we had the same conversation on another live not long ago, saying like it's just natural instincts in it to like grab someone for their attention.
Right.
Then scratches could be just someone trying to grab your attention by grabbing you. So the same for a child. Like it's the right height for a child to like grab at you and draw your attention.
I mean, for us, if we know you're going to a location that's got possibly child spirits, we'll take them a toy, won't we? And we'll leave it there as well.
Oh, nice.
Because obviously, you imagine you go in there taking this boo bear, taking a teddy bear into there, that child's trying to interact with it, so it's going off for you, and then you take it away. It's like taking a child's toy away, isn't it? So we always take a little bit of something with us and just leave it like a thank you for interacting with us as well.
Oh, cheers. I love that. Love that.
Right.
So now, what are your thoughts on provoking? I know what ours are, but what are your thoughts?
No,
never.
Why not?
We would rather go into a location because at the end of the day, it's disrespectful. I mean, it's like me going into your guy's house and saying, "Right, get my dinner on the table now." Do you know what I mean? It's like it's like let's say the once we're living. Obviously the past now, but the world's living. So it's like someone going into your house and being disrespectful to you.
That's our exact same thought.
Exact. So yes,
and to look a little like it's funny. I was talking to Jeff Leeper about this last night when we were talking about provocation, and I look at it like this. We're all born innocent, okay, and for whatever reason, whatever path we take in life, it might not always be the best one. However, when we pass away and our soul is set free and we go to where we have to go or where we originated from, my opinion is our soul is back to its original innocence, so to speak. So if I'm trying to make contact with you, I'm not going to, be that disrespectful. I'm going to treat you, you're no different than me. Treat you with that innocence of when you were born. You know what I mean? Chances are when I pass away, I know I'm probably going to stay in my house because I love being home. What does anyone have the right to come in my house and challenge me and threaten me and demand me? Even though I'm not here, man, I'm still in my house. What are you doing?
Yeah.
So we absolutely agree on that. I don't. Dave and I do no kind of, if anything, we'll assure a spirit. Hey, there's nothing wrong with coming out and introducing yourself and explain why we're here.
We're
and
not here to hurt you.
what everything we're using does and what it's for. But you'll never get provoking out of us.
Never.
No.
I mean, some people seem to think by provoking they get a better response, but you won't. You won't at all.
No,
I'd rather get no evidence whatsoever, no activity all night, than to provoke for it.
Yeah. I think if you just act normal, that's the best. You know what I mean? Like we were saying earlier with the questions and, just treat them like they're still here, like they're still sitting next to you.
The thing is, if you start provoking, I mean, even in life, if you provoke somebody, you don't know what kind of response you're going to get back from them.
Right.
So in death, you may get double fold on that, not knowing that response. No.
You don't want to meet them on the other side.
When something can go through you without you wanting it to, no. Be nice.
What it's like 1 o'clock in the morning over there, right?
Nearly, yeah.
Wow. We appreciate you staying up and joining us. I know it must be rough this time of night. So where you live at, your home's not haunted?
Yes and no. We've got a cabinet actually with a few haunted artifacts in. We've got a doll, which obviously was given to me a few years back now. There's a child spirit attached to that. We have investigated a few times, obviously while I've been on lockdown. There's nothing malicious. It's basically very mischievous. Like things will go missing and then turn up 3 days later in a place where you never think to look.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Tugging at your pants or...
We've heard, obviously we've been in bed at night, obviously kids are fast asleep. We've heard someone shout, "Mama," or "Mum," on the stairs. Very faint, and you think one of the kids is awake, so obviously we get up to make sure they're okay, and they're all fast asleep.
You know what's weird, and I've had this several times. In the back of my basement is where my deep freezer is and my washer and dryer. And it'll be like the middle of the day. I'm the only one in the house, and I'll be down there folding laundry or whatever, and I'll hear a lady.
You hear that?
I did hear that.
Footsteps just went across. I are the only ones here, and my dog's right here.
Yeah, I did hear that.
So I just heard footsteps go across.
But I'll be back there folding laundry, and I'll hear a lady call my name, and it does. That's weird.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's one thing. Like we just heard a footstep, which is common. We hear that all the time at Dave's house. That's one thing hearing a footstep, but when you actually hear someone
call your name
with your own ears, not on, live on Memorex.
I mean, could it be a family member or could it be a previous owner? Something like that. Obviously knows you're living there now. And
if I had to put my money on it, I'd say a family member. Now the funny thing is I have some things every few months, little things happen in my house. It's just like you said, it's mischievous, but it's nothing threatening, nothing aggressive. And the things that happen, I really haven't told anyone. And we had Lori Johnson on our show one night, and just out of the blue.
No, wait. Do you guys know who Lori Johnson is from Ghost of Shepherdstown?
Well, I've seen the show before, but I'm not. We haven't watched a lot of them.
I'm on the show. She's a friend of ours.
But anyhow, Lori told me live on our episode that my friend Eric, who passed away, comes to my house and visits me. And I was like, oh, okay. And that could explain some things. And she goes, and when he's there to let you know he's there, he goes throughout your house and takes like your little knickknacks or ornaments and turns them around. And that's what I was just telling Dave a couple days before. I was like, man, I got up, I went to the kitchen,
And all of it
I
turned
made a
around.
cup of coffee, I come back,
No.
and that fast something was turned around. I told him,
Wow.
and I never told Lori that
Yeah,
because I hadn't spoken to her.
And he talked to me about it days beforehand, and I haven't talked to Lori in a while.
Yeah, and she's
So-
like, that's what Eric does to let you know
Yeah,
he's.
she'll like hone in on you, and she's like a TV remote. She'll just click, and she's right there. And it's like, Lori, stop looking at my dress. I know. Thank you.
She's amazing.
Yeah, she is.
Guys, we got to get ready to wrap it up. I can't begin to thank you enough,
Thank
man,
you
for staying
kindly.
up this
Thank
late.
you.
No, guys, thank you. It's
Been
been
a
really
pleasure.
appreciated. Really do.
We've been wanting to speak to you guys about because we love
Yep.
over where you're at
Oh,
and
definitely.
hope that we can get there someday. If you
Definitely.
ever, want to make arrangements to come over here, contact us.
Let us know. You know how to find me.
We'll hook you up with everything. But if you're
Brilliant.
coming next year,
Likewise.
I would
Same for you
suggest.
guys too. If you ever want to come over here, we're more than happy to take some amazing locations over here as well.
Oh,
Cheers.
plan
Yeah,
on it.
Definitely.
Plan on it.
Yep.
But if you are coming over here next year, I would suggest in July so you can
Mid-July.
come to the bash
Yeah.
because you'll meet everybody who's anybody.
Yep.
As far as
Pretty
being
much
on-
anybody
Oh,
you
Sounds
see
yeah.
great, doesn't it?
Yeah.
with the paranormal show, they'll
Yeah.
be there.
Yeah. So you'll really enjoy it. Thank you again. We're going to have you back on real soon. Hey, look, during the
Definitely.
your investigations or anything, if anything substantial happens that you want to talk about or get out there, please, we'll get you back in here.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Anytime, we're more than happy to come back any point.
Definitely.
You have a good night, get some sleep,
Right.
and we'll be
Bye,
talking.
guys.
Thank
you, again,
you.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Oh, they are awesome people.
Yeah.
They are awesome. I love it.
They were. I'll tell you how we got in touch with them. I think it's when Porter was on here.
Okay.
And they asked a question.
Oh, yeah.
Brent
Oh,
and
yeah, I
Emma. And I said,
remember.
hey,
Yeah.
Brent and Emma. And
Yeah.
I read the question. I think it was the episode with Scott. I'm not sure, but that's how I wound up getting in touch with them. I spoke to Brent afterwards. I didn't realize he was in England, and then it just went from there.
Oh,
But
yeah, I love it. God, love it, man.
guys, hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we did. It's so cool. I always find it so cool hearing other people's stories, especially from over there. You know what I mean?
Definitely, I love
it's so cool.
Love it.
I say we take a paranormal road trip.
Yeah, definitely. Gotta go right now.
Hey, you know what's coming up, man? 4 weeks. Gettysburg Battlefield Bash, number 4, 2021. They both could be confused. Number. That means it's the 4th one.
No, I'm looking at you smiling. I was enjoying it.
But I want to give a special happy birthday to Jim from Keystone State Paranormal. We had cake and ice cream last night. You missed it. Mr. Big Shot had to be on a radio show.
Oh, sorry.
Happy birthday, Jim and Michelle, our dear, dear friend. Michelle DeMaio her birthday was yesterday. I will not say how old she is. I will say she's younger than Dave and I, as is most people who watch this show. So, happy birthday, Michelle. Glad you had a good day. July 5th, our next show will be Josh Hurd. You all know who Josh Hurd is from G Crew. Dave and I will have the pleasure, absolute honor of being with Josh during the Paranormal Relief Project next May at the Malvern Manor. So thank you, Tori, for everything you're doing with that project. It's an amazing idea, especially with the world seeing now. We need something positive, and you really can't get much more positive than that. So thank you for all the hard work. That was an amazing idea. Anything else there, Mr. David Seiler?
No, I'm going to try a new function here and see if we can actually set it up now to make sure that we can play our ending because it hasn't been working right. So we're going to try this and see
Dave
what
just
happens.
wants to show off his motorcycle.
Oh, no. It's good. Guys, love you. Peace out. Happy
you.
Father's Day.
See you in 2 weeks.
You've been listening to Step into the Paranormal with Ernie Atwell and David Seiler. Thank you for listening, and listen in next week for another topic and more great guests, right here on WLFE TV Radio Network.